Hey y'all, I wanted this to be dramatic. We're talking about leaves today. I wanted to bring some nice props. Went and cut these from the back of the school just a second ago. All right, so we're talking about the leaf and why it's important to plant nutrition, aka photosynthesis. Now, with leaf structure, each leaf on a tree, y'all know it's pretty thin, right? Like here's an individual leaf, and it's very, very, very thin, okay? But if we were to take a microscopic view and blow up the cross section of a leaf, so like literally tear this thing in half and be able to zoom in and look at what's going on the inside of this leaf, this is what we've got, this image over here. Okay, so when we look at the cross section of a leaf, we've got several important parts. For the top layer, we have what's called the cuticle, also referred to as the waxy cuticle, because it has a nice little wax on it that ultimately allows leaves not to dissolve in water when it gets rained on. Under that, we have the epidermis. Okay, and then we have the palisade mesophyll layer. The palisade mesophyll layer is going to be composed of palisade cells that are packed with chloroplasts. What you're going to notice is they're right here underneath that top epidermis layer of a leaf. They are here to absorb the absolute most sunlight that they possibly can absorb, because like we talked about with photosynthesis, the palisade mesophyll cells are packed with chloroplasts. Chloroplasts contain chlorophyll, and if you remember from the photosynthesis talk, chlorophyll is what releases that energy for photosynthesis to occur. So those palisade mesophylls packed with chloroplast, one of the first sections of actual plant cells underneath the epidermis, to allow the most photosynthesis to occur that possibly can, because they're getting that first amount of direct sunlight. Under that layer, we have the spongy mesophyll. For the spongy mesophyll, you're going to notice lots of airspace. Okay, so think about a sponge, like it's got little holes and pockets. Same idea with a leaf. The airspace is going to allow, because if you remember from the photosynthesis equation, we have carbon dioxide, which is a gas that needs to be absorbed in the presence of, along with water, in the presence of light and chlorophyll, create glucose plus oxygen. So that oxygen is also going to need to diffuse out where the carbon dioxide stays in so it can be used. So this spongy mesophyll area with all those air pockets allow for this transaction to occur. Where that transaction takes place of carbon dioxide coming into the leaf and oxygen leaving is the stomata. The stomata are surrounded by what's called guard cells. So these guard cells open and close to allow those gases, which would be carbon dioxide in and oxygen out, to occur. Okay, so then we also have the lower epidermis, which is, you can see you have the upper epidermis and lower epidermis. And then we'll talk about the certain types of veins that we have in plants. We have something called the phloem tubes and the xylem vessels. Okay, we get a little bit more into these during plant transport, but just know these run throughout the plants. It's the veining that you can typically see if you take a leaf and look at all the nice little intricate veins. All right. Leaves have several adaptations that they have created and adapted to be able to absorb more sunlight and ultimately absorb more carbon dioxide but release more oxygen. Those adaptations are going to be provided for you in your notes and in a nice table, so make sure you take those down. You'll also be creating what I just found is just a neat little project. We get to build our own little cross section of a leaf. So make sure you take your notes and participate in the activity, and we'll check in with our CFU the next time I see you. Good job, guys.